friend. My expression wasn't much better than yours when I first saw this. Your eyes aren't deceiving you. It's her. The famous singer, Robin. Well, first of all, can I just say that this had nothing to do with me? I'm just an unlucky bystander here. The family can testify for me. If you don't believe me, just ask anyone in the Bloodhound family. They hate me and they hate the IPC. This is not where the crime happened. What I showed you was a memory. The most basic light cone manifesting tech. Authorized by the... Did you really think the Galaxy Ranger was an outsider this whole time? Penacony has made a solemn commitment to protect the safety of anyone inside a family dream. Any person in distress will be forcibly awakened and safely returned to reality. What gives them the confidence to make such conclusive statements? Because behind this promise is the harmony. The family's Dreamweavers link up their minds together to construct an unbreakable defensive line. Breaking through this line of defense to create death in the dreamscape. Not even a memo keeper could do that without the family's permission. Who could have done it, friend? The only one is her. The girl who calls herself a Galaxy Ranger. An imposter. An unsought guest. An emanator who hides her true identity. Ifrit's death was a foregone conclusion. And Robin? Her misfortune was staring right at her. Who will be the next to die? It's fine. Listen to your gut. Building trust always takes time, and I'm willing to wait. I just hope you realize that wherever that legacy is concerned, covert plans are already underway throughout Penacony. Everyone, careful you don't get stuck on the wrong side. If I were you, I'd keep my distance from Acheron. After all, any schemes out in the open are always going to be better than a monster in the shadows, right?
Who's to say there isn't an even deeper conspiracy lurking beneath the surface?
Memo Keeper, I think our little deal is finished.
Aventurine is telling the truth. This memory is a real one, and there's no sign of any...
The IPC is not the Garden, and there are real limits to what they can actually do. But you know, friend, let's not beat around the bush here. The thing is, I want to reach out personally to team up with the Astral Express. I told you, I'm just not interested in scrambling for the legacy. I just came to Penacony for work. I'm here to retrieve some lost property for the IPC, if you catch my drift. This has all become a bad debt thanks to the cancer of all worlds. The IPC has tried sitting down for negotiations time and again, but the family wouldn't even take our call. You have no idea how difficult these people are to deal with. Put it this way. They've hushed up the existence of death. It'll just quietly float off like a bubble, and that's not fair, right? So then, friend, I need your help. I have but only one goal. The family's front door is like a high wall, and to tear the whole thing down, I'll have to dig out a few chunks first. Now we have our chance. So long as we can get to the truth behind her death, we can have justice for Robin. While also gaining a valuable bargaining chip for bringing the family to the table. Truly a once-in-a-blue-moon opportunity. I've been investigating and making lots of this tragic news would be extremely bad for the family. so they'll be doing everything they can to stop it. But I trust that there are still a few factions that remain exceptions. And that's why I need you all. The reputation of you get to find out really what happened and seek justice. And I get to put it toward... Don't worry, just head back and talk things over with your companions. That navigator is really smart. She must understand the value of this. Oh, and take this. A thorough investigation can always use a little more funding. Don't mention it. So long, friend. I really am looking forward to uncovering the truth about...
Aventurine just sauntered off. He really does...
What now? What are your plans?
Black Swan. What is she thinking?
On the surface, this doesn't look like a bad deal for you. But Aventurine is a shrewd merchant whose scheme won't just be as simple as it appears to be. He doesn't know about Miss Firefly yet. But, judging by your reaction, he may have noticed something going on. And deliberate. That's quick thinking and very sound logic. Aventure. Leaving it up to fate. It's just how that gambler thinks. Anyway, be careful out there. There's more than one way to blaze a trail. As for the other questions, I'm not sure the two cases were committed by the same culprit, but that massive wound looked like its winged blade. Plus, it seems unlikely that there would be two lethal entities. Sorry, I can't answer that question. That ranger is shrouded in mist, but without a doubt, she is the most special guest. Two victims appearing one after the other in a very short time span. Two possibilities. The collapse of Penacony's dreamscape has started speeding up. If someone has chosen these victims deliberately, first, it's all happened so quickly, I can only make conjecture. After leaving here, go... This way. This is where we part ways. All of this is lie. Unfortunately, the remembrance doesn't lie. What we just saw is the reality that happened. But follow your heart and don't be afraid. We all walk through this... hold on just a sec. There you go. A small parting gift. If one day you unfortunately fall into the deep waters of I also pay great attention to the ways of the world. Just think... Then, I've something private to take care of regarding that. What fascinating memories will you bring for me next time we meet? I sincerely look forward to them.
Blade now, Ranger.
Do you still dream, Hunter? Of those slain by your hand?
It appears the outcome has already been determined.
You're still alive, as are you. You still have room to make a choice. Leave the music box behind, and then go.
Choice. The bloody trail of the destruction leaves no room for hesitation.
Vatora's fire demon. Even if you sacrifice your life for that eon, you won't get special treatment.
Ranger, you tread the narrow path of the hunt. You could never understand. We come from the fire and are born bathed in fire. We spread, burning forms the entire life of a fire demon. From the beginning to the end.
Your companions don't seem to think so. They fight for your chance at survival.
They are my children, and just as I was, they are flames that have yet to burn wide hot. They're still young, but my flames are faint, and time is running out. Can you see the planet of festivities in the distance? I plan to bring purgatory with me.
Why?
Because on the path they have forged, you have traveled farther than I have, Emanator. You cannot hide your true identity. Draw that sword, for we shall indeed destruction is intense, but brief. To cravenly cling to life.
Even if the answer turns out to be your own destruction.
What is important is not the answer, but that it exists, just as you exist. Just as even sweet dreams may be born of the void, the so-called it.
All right.
You shall witness the most brilliant and intense fire in existence. May this flame
A bottomless stream. Yes, that's right. But you've made one small mistake. This blade remains in its scabbard not out of pity or scorn. It's a personal secret that I don't want to disclose, but perhaps out of reciprocity. I'll reveal the truth to you. The hunt is not the path I truly follow. May death be the end of your boundless dream, guiding you back to the waking world. I still see them in my dreams. Hold it. Your time hasn't come yet.
my time.
I've seen many clever disguises that can conceal appearances, but they can never cover up who a person really is. And you're no different. You had no desire to kill the Trailblazer. You only did what you did to drive me and the Memo Keeper away, but why? Did Destiny's slave make you do it?
You know,
I thought this is just the kind of thing that'd get written into your script.
my script has always been brief. Other than that, anything beyond that is unnecessary. He knows my nature. There is but a single destiny from which no one can escape. And until then, I hold the However, you appear to be ignorant of this. So it's time for me to inquire. Who exactly are you?
Not your enemy, perhaps.
That's not what I am.
I don't deserve your curiosity. Loners wandering the cosmos always have their secrets. Take me. I've also been wanted by the IPC, so it's little... Maybe I can help.
What reason would you...
I tend to forget things. Which is why, rather than memories, I'm accustomed to using my emotions to capture what I normally wouldn't otherwise. I know who is inside that cold armor. How about it? Ready to take off that armor and sit down for a talk?
It's not yet time. I don't need help, but I can give you a suggestion that would make things better for you and me. If your goal is the Watchmaker's legacy, then go look into the family. Not only are they covering up the existence of death...
Already on it.
And the Astral Express is no enemy of yours.
I know that. I just never expected to hear you say it. What's next, then? The Trailblazer's been taken by Black Swan. Will you go look for him?
No need for that. No harm in mentioning that Elio's only given me one instruction. Get all of the Astral Express to track down the Grand Legacy. I tried settling this in an easier and more direct way, but as you can see, here I am, confronting you.
The so-called impossible is merely something that has yet to happen. That's it. Before we split, can I ask you one more thing? Is there anything else in your script about me? I'd like to know what kind of footnote I get to leave in that future foreseen by destiny.
Unfortunately, not a thing came up.
I knew it.
Hang on. I...
Don't. What?
Your first question was, do you still have dreams about everyone who died because of you? I don't. Never have. I was born without the ability to dream. I live for this cold, harsh reality. For a little, so I really envy you.
Is that so? Then you're already living in the waking world.
We heard about Miss Firefly from Black Swan, but we...
I'm sorry that I couldn't be with you then.
Reality cruises on in serenity, while undercurrents bubble up from the dreamscape. Stay strong, everyone. We can still do what we can for them, starting with finding the murderer.
Let's recap everything then. The Trailblazer just reminded me of something. March,
Indeed, we trust that the Nameless has nothing to do with this. And we also beg each of you to help assist the family in verifying the identity of the deceased. That's...
looking back, he seemed a little evasive at the time. And he also failed to mention anything about the early...
The family's planning on covering up all news about Miss Robin's death. If news gets out, Penacony's going to turn into a bloodbath.
But the murder that followed closely after was obviously beyond their anticipation. The family had to try and turn things to their advantage by bringing in reinforcements from outside. The Charmony Festival is nearly here. They must be...
It may also be that Miss Firefly's murder had so many witnesses that it couldn't be covered up. So they went with the flow and let more people on the scene to control... After all, the nature of the two murders is fundamentally different. The family's first protective measure should be against malicious actors among the guests, such as that...
Indeed. He was particularly concerned about that Galaxy Ranger.
Are we missing the forest for the trees here? I always felt that Aventurine's reasons for accusing Miss Acheron were highly subtle. Can we believe him?
At this point, I'm afraid the only ones we can trust are ourselves.
Look, let's try to gather intel first and then list all the possible outcomes we can. Then we go through them, eliminating contradictions one by one. The fewer I've still got this sense of foreboding. It's like we're stuck in a whirlpool, spinning around.
This time we're playing the role of a real detective. But before we start, what are we going to say to the fam-
As I see things, the family harbors no ill will towards the Astral Express. If they didn't trust the crew, they wouldn't have casually commissioned outsiders to investigate a case. Plus, this is the family's turf. Teaming up with... As for that Aventurine, well, I'd like to...
He's complex. He deliberately slow-played his hand during negotiations while running circles around us all the while. He appealed convincingly to both reason and emotion. It wasn't forced, but the intent was obvious. Still, it's good to have contacts among all this uncertainty. Aventurine showed his skills, and as far as our interests are aligned, he can become a reliable ally. We also need to keep a certain distance from the family. Never let them get too close. Teaming up with the IPC helps balance that out. If either side makes a move, we have the option.
So you suggest accepting Aventurine's proposal?
Yes. It's risky, but we can only wait until both sides have played their cards before making any further judgments.
I get why, but there's a whole lot of bad guys and girls around here, and I'm worried about getting stabbed in the back. He's been bullied a few times now, and I can't stand it anymore. You're like a broken record. Forget about it. Just let me keep an eye on him. If that doesn't work, we can just turn the table.
Then, could you please reply to Aventurine? Everyone.
Looks like Aventurine doesn't need anything else. Let's turn our attention to the family's assignment.
Among our current clues, the two murders that he witnessed are the most directly connected. I suggest starting here. One thing I'm curious about is, if a person dies in a dream, what happens to them in real life?
How about we split off into two groups? There are still some things worth focusing on inside the dreamscape. I'll investigate those, and we can link up again later.
Worth focusing on? Oh.
Huh? Aw, I thought I'd finally get to see Himeko and Mr. Yang go out on a mission together.
I will. Honored guest, could you come out for a second?
I'd be embarrassed too, getting stared at like that.
Forgive me. My name is Yang. I'm one of the crew members on the Astral Express. I believe you've met my colleagues.
Welt.
Is there something about my name?
First, don't you want to know my name?
I already do, Miss Acheron. You're a prominent figure in Penacony.
What are they saying about me?
Some claim that you're the real culprit behind these murders, that the Annihilation Gang's tragic fate at the banquet was a result of your blade.
The Annihilation Gang?
Ifrit of Everflame Mansion.
Tragic fate. That Duke turned his dying body to flames and sacrificed his life as a martyr. He was a determined and heroic pathstrider. Not even a villain should be disparaged like this. And what's more, there were plenty of suspects invited. Do they really think that a blade is more dangerous than that black hole you're wielding?
Keen intuition. Not even the family managed to point out the truth behind this cane. So you must surely know, Miss Acheron, that peering into a black hole is not a wise move. As a potential threat, your knowledge of us has reached uncomfortable depths. Reveal your true identity and intentions. Otherwise, brace yourself for gravitational disintegration.
That shouldn't be necessary. But if it makes the Nameless feel less defensive, I'll be happy to abide. Believe it or not, Galaxy Ranger, Acheron, those are the names I go by to this very day. My trip to Penacony is solely to fulfill an old, final request. I'm here for the Watchmaker's legacy. And that's it. I think I've been honest enough.
Still unwilling to reveal your true identity?
It's not that I don't want to. It's just that I can't. I've come so far, and I can't sum up all of that in just a few words. Everyone has their own unspeakable past. Secrets that they don't want to be revealed. And I won't be asking any more questions, such as why the Astral Express is roaming around the cosmos with a Stellaron on board. Is he okay? That memo keeper didn't do anything, right?
He's fine. Let's stick with the topic. Gaining my trust all depends on how much you're willing to reveal.
I've run around many different Penacony dreamscapes just to try and find that legacy. And during this period, I came into contact with quite a few guests. In the process, I gradually came to realize the secret of Penacony may be closely related to the Trailblaze. That's why I've come to ask for your help. I don't have enough proof yet, but I'd like to speculate something. The source of all tragedy lies within the family. If you could trust me, we could find the proof to support this claim to Mr. Yang. I think you've come to the same conclusion, haven't you?
Let's leave it at that. For now, I'll choose to believe that you bear no hostility. Share your findings with me and me alone. I don't want vague conjecture to interfere with other people's judgments before we find solid proof.
By the way, would you like something to drink? Before we go, how about 2 cups of Wake the Heck Up? Because the conversation coming up will last forever.
I've been watching her closely for a while now. In the first invitation, she just sat in one corner, keeping silent, chugging down a couple cups of Wake the Heck Up. I told her it's a pungent, bitter beverage, not the taste of sweet dreams. Only...
Really? But I don't taste any difference at all between them.
The guest rooms are charmingly minimalist. An aesthetic you share, Miss Acheron. It's a cinch, this music box. The invitation received by the Annihilation Gang. There are latent memories that linger. You see, memories of you are not yours alone. They travel in other people, other things. I know much, and I can predict even more. The Annihilation Gang, that band of desperados who all disappeared after meeting you. What exactly happened to them? Well, let me reveal all.
Gradation 12. Dreamscape 12.
Well done, Dubra. Wherever they go, shall be met.
There it is. It's hazy, but it's Ifrit's voice. The other one is probably his progeny. This is the residual memory from when the invitation was first delivered. They were abruptly interrupted.
They sought refuge in a land of sleep, merely wishing for undistant children of the flame. This marks your rite of passage.
She won't be necessary. I alone am enough.
When have those on the path of destruction feared death?
The Everflame Mansion has set out on a journey. Those poor people, they have no idea what lies in wait ahead of them. Memory recovery is going well, but slowly. She'll be here soon, and time is short. There's nobody else here, so there's no need to be delicate. In fact, I think I'd better go all out. What happened? The memory after that is blank. How is that possible? This music box fell into Acheron's hands, and she brought it to Penacony. That's a fact, and that's how it should have gone. But along the way... it's like it's been erased. Who's done this?
Who are you? Who are you?
this not a memory?
Oh, a memo keeper. Do you serve the Garden of Recollection? Or the Cremators? My name is Constance. A pleasure to meet you. We were supposed to meet in Penacony and spend an unforgettable time together. But that seems unrealistic. Dahlia's not welcome on the banquet star, and I don't need a coming-of-age ceremony. And you, I know what you're looking for. Want her secret? I can give it to you, and then you can enjoy the banquet for me. I wish you unforgettable memories.
Oh. A phone. Wanna listen in?